It's such an honor to follow a umpteenth annual poetry contestant. And anybody who participated in the dance-off last night, I just am so grateful. I think you made Doug Rhodes really happy. I'm going to give you guys 3 announcements, public service address, and a song. Announcement number 1, Lara and I are doing an event in Portland tomorrow night at South Park Seafood. And there's a Facebook event, and we hope you can join us. If you are a Fisher poet and want to be involved in pre and post events, let me know. I have a limited ability to organize. So if you didn't get on the list, it's not because you're not cool. It's just that I have a limited ability to organize. Number 2, there have been a number of attacks on queer people in Portland. And I just want you guys all to know that when that happens, that's my community. And so when you hear about somebody throwing a can of beer at a lone queer woman walking down the street, or a trans woman, or scaring the shit out of people so that they're afraid to leave their homes, which is what's happening right now with my friends, that's me. That's me. Okay? I just want you guys to know that. Number 3. What was the third? Oh, Elma Burnham is single. And she wanted me to let you guys know. And and she is open, because now, you know, we're living in times where you want to know, like, well, what does that mean as far as people that you date? And she's like, she's open. You don't have to be a commercial fishing person to date her. And my public service announcement is that I just want to say thank you to Ron. It's always a pleasure to MC with you. And as far as humiliation goes, I just want to say that, I mean, I don't know if I didn't hear you say it this year, but a lot of times he shows up and he's like, I'm like the 3-horned calf or the 2-headed calf at the Fisher Poets. And it's just like, if you go around saying that that's what you are and inviting ridicule and humiliation, I am a deckhand and I take instruction. So just want to make sure you know that. Okay, I'm just gonna sing the song I've been singing all weekend. My brother-in-law Eric Manzer wrote it, and funny thing, he employed Wendy back on his crab boat, and Wendy is a woman George worked for up in Alaska. So let's see. Anybody remember how it goes? All my announcements got in my way. Let's see. I've had it in my damn head all weekend. I just can't get away from it. I got a boat, it's a nice little boat, it's a fishing boat, a bow picker. It's all I need, but if I succeed, I'll get one bigger, a bigger bow picker. 'Cause there's a few things that fit on a big boat that don't on my little one. And a few creature comforts could make this experience a better one. So for reasons I'm sure I don't have to explain, sing with me. I'm sitting on a bucket in the rain. Now I like fishing, it's an outdoor life, it's an honest life without a lot of strife. And if I make a good catch, well, my checks might stretch through the coming year and maybe buy some gear. But with all of the change in the world, I wonder, will it still be here? In a decade or two, will this life that we love simply disappear? These questions begin spawning in my brain when I'm sitting on a bucket in the rain. Anybody know the bridge? Here we go. Sometimes I wonder, have I gone insane? I'm just sitting on that bucket in the pouring rain. Makes me want to buy a ticket get on the next jet plane and fly out of here. Oh, I'm out of here. But then the rain slows a bit and the clouds start to lift and I look around. I'm where the mountains meet the sea, where the sky meets the trees out on the salmon grounds. And there's no place on earth you could pay me to go that I'd rather be. It's a curious road that has led me to where I was meant to be. So I think it might be ungrateful to complain about sitting on a bucket in the rain. Just sitting on a bucket in the rain. I love you all. Thank you so much.
Hi, I'm John Bradshaw. Whoa. Fisher poet, crab fisherman, truck driver. I want to tell you a little story about the first time I ever went fishing. It was the summer of 1973. I was in Cordova, Alaska. I was pumping gas at Service Transfer. My dad pulled up in his flatbed and he said, Bobby Sherlock went up to do his laundry and he hopped on a plane and flew back to Westport. And I did a quick fill-in, son. I know you're only 15 years old, but I wasn't going to take you fishing until you were 16, but I want you to go fishing with me just for a fill-in trip till I get a guy from Westport to come back up and take your place. So we ran down to the boat, the John David. It was a 58-foot boat built in 1970 by Dorwin Foss in South Bend. It was a beautiful boat. We were all baited up. We had fuel, bait, and groceries. And my brother was deckhand, Tommy. He was 19 years old. Somehow he had snuck his girlfriend on board, Denise. They've been married for 45 years, so they're still together. We went out through Hawkins Inlet, went across Strawberry Bar. It was blowing southwest about 25. It was kind of snotty, but we had it on our stern, and we were heading towards Softuck. And we got down there where the gear was. They really hadn't thought about rain gear for me, so I was outfitted in a sou'wester that hung over my eyes, and I was wearing size 14 hip waders and a trench coat that was probably 3 sizes too large. I was 15 years old. I maybe weighed 150 pounds soaking wet. My brother was pulling, and I was baiting. We started fishing some gear, and the pots were full. There was a lot of crab out there. And I was throwing the pots off, but occasionally when I would get in a hurry and I'd throw a pot off and it would go upside down. Now when the pots go upside down, the triggers float up and the crabs don't crawl in. And my brother was getting a little pissed at me. He was saying, Johnny, you got to throw those pots the right way. And I didn't want to disappoint him. I was trying my hardest. So we were fishing along, and I was throwing a pot over, and it started going upside down. And God damn it, I wasn't going to let that pot go upside down. So I tried to grab it and ride it. Well, when I did that, that pot took me over the rail. I fell in the ocean. I fell into the milky waters of the Copper River Flats. It was blowing 25 and probably about a 5-foot wind chop. I was 15 years old, and I went into a deep dream, it seemed like. As I flailed around in the water, my biggest concern was my glasses. Because I lost my glasses, and I knew my mom was going to be mad. My glasses were in my bunk. I wasn't even wearing them. Somehow I pulled over that sou'wester over my face, and it was around my neck. And thank God those hip boots were size 14 because I kicked them off as they were filling full of water, and I was sinking. The boat was cruising off, and I was like, hey guys, don't leave me here, please. My brother, Tommy Bradshaw, he owns the Northern Mariner now, and he fishes up in Cordova. A lot of you Cordova folks out there know Tommy. Anyway, he jumped on the stern rail, and he, rain gear and gloves and all, and he goes, don't worry, Johnny, I'll save you. And he jumped in the water and he swam over to me. Now my father's got 2 of his sons in the boat. They're in the water. And my brother's girlfriend is screaming, Tommy, Tommy, Tommy. I didn't hear no Johnny, Johnny, Johnny. It's all right, Denise, I forgive you. Anyways, we swam over the buoy of the pot that I just tossed over, and we held onto that. And, like I said, my father had his 2 sons in the water. He spun the boat around, and it idled up to us real slow. And I like I said, I was in a dream state. Everything was in slow motion. It's hard to explain when you're drowning. It's very peaceful, but scary. Anyways, the boat pulled alongside of us, and we got up on the bow stem, and I remember the boat going up and down in the swells, and I was hanging on, and we kind of just worked our way around to the crab block there, and Denise was going, Tommy, Tommy, Tommy. There was no Johnny. My dad, he's up on the bridge, and he comes down, and everybody's all scrambling on the deck. Well, my brother was 19 years old, and he was just rock hard, solid. The boat took a roll, and he grabbed the rail, and he just pulled himself aboard, and he was on board. And I'm sitting there, holding on to the ironbark there, and I wasn't getting aboard. I was trying to get aboard, but I couldn't. And Tommy was trying to grab me, and he was exhausted too. And my dad was there, and everybody was in a panic. So Tommy grabbed the buoy stick, and he held it over the side of the rail, and he said, Johnny, grab a hold of the buoy stick. And I grabbed that sucker as hard as I could, and he just hauled me aboard like a tuna. And I flopped on the deck, and I was spitting salt water, and oh gosh, I was so damn scared. My brother saved my life that day. And I fished for 43 more years. That was my first day fishing. I'd like to thank you for listening to my bullshit, my stories, but they're all true. Fisher Poets is a big part of my life. I've been coming down here for 20 years, I think, now, and God bless you, John Broadbeck, for inviting me. It's the highlight of my winter. And like everybody says, it's the crowds, it's the people. You are what makes us grow and what inspires us. And I thank you all. I'll see you next year, okay? I'll have some more stories.
Wow, I could listen to more of that. Holy mackerel. Thanks. This is a song, but it's more like comic relief. It's a saga of the deckhand, a saga, and powerful, but not near that powerful. Blue's the ocean, deep and wide. He fished that thing from side to side. What he likes is the salt spray smell, the heaving motion, the rolling swell. He got it happening out on deck. The gear is mended, then it's set. I asked his mom and she did say, it's just because he turned out that way. That's the story, that's the plan. He was born to be a good deckhand. In the coffee kettle pot, the water's always nice and hot. Stove top shining, you bet. The grub's the best I ever ate. Galley's done, prepared for sea. Fishing's good as it can be. Bright sun setting, turning red. The fishing's done and now it's time for bed. That's the story, that's the plan. He was born to be a good deckhand. catch is caught, cleaned and stowed. I see the lights of the harbor glow. Here we are, pulling in. Ah, yeah, here we are, home again. I don't think he's, let's see. I think he's gonna need a whole lot of sleep. He got the line, but he missed the cleat. He's not going up to see that band because he's not a young deckhand anymore. That's the story, that's the plan. It happens to almost every man when you're not a young deckhand anymore.